Bingo quickly.
Okay. Brad Martin.
Here.
Chris Barrett.
Here.
And Valerie Jorgensen and Sarah Rastegar are not in attendance at this point.
Okay. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
None at this time. So I'm currently sharing my screen on the left side. I will scroll through the meeting items. The agenda will maintain on the right side, so you'll be able to reference that.
Okay, great. Okay, let's look at the minutes of May 12th, 2020, and see if there are any corrections that needs to be placed on those minutes.
I will make a motion. This is Shane. I will make a motion to accept the minutes as read or as reported.
Okay, thank you, Shane. Do I hear a second?
This is Chris Barrett. I will second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Chris. All in favor of approving the minutes of May 12th, say aye.
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 Yeah, okay. Minutes are approved. Do we have any visitors or citizens that have joined the meeting that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. Let's go to the zoning officer's report. Ben, you have any news for us?
Well, it's great to join you all this evening. I hope you and your families are doing well and are staying healthy during this pandemic. We have closed our offices for public visits once again due to the surge and the health advisory from Franklin County Public Health. And our staff is coordinating our schedules to try to limit our headcount in the office. But we're all healthy and well at this time. It's been pretty quiet on the zoning front. A couple of zoning violations here and there staff has been working on. And we haven't met with the BZA since May. As far as activity in the township, there was a annexation at Jug Street, at the end of Central College into the city limits, about 64 acres by Homewood. That's potentially going to be residential development. It's out on the east edge of the township.
Okay.
It will be developed within the city limits. But, for those who live over in that area, you may see activity in the next couple of years as they work on that. Otherwise, there are major projects in the township out at Google and Facebook that are currently under construction, and those continue even during the state of emergency. We've seen a decline in emergency runs over the past 9 months. So a little counterintuitive, but due to the decreased activity, people working remotely or not working at all due to the economy, we've seen a significant decline in EMS runs. And for probably 6 months, there was a substantial bubble, kind of covering New Albany, and we did not have significant case counts. But in the past 3 months, we've kind of seen that break through and kind of in the same bag as everybody else in Franklin County, including a pretty strong surge over the past month. But other than that, happy to answer any questions, but that's kind of just a brief report for now.
Okay. Well, thank you for that report. I hope everybody on here is experiencing good health with all the numbers rising dramatically. We've decided that we're going to do a small Christmas and not do what we usually do and have everybody in and eat and So we're trying to be safe, and so far, so good, knock on wood. One thing I did want to mention to you, Ben, you mentioned everything going on in the township, but I noticed that when you get online, the council minutes haven't been updated since August. So I think they've had meetings because there's agendas, but we don't see any minutes. So I was wondering if there's somebody that you could check with to find out what's happening there.
Sure, Mr. Chair, we can definitely update the minutes. Because we're meeting virtually, there is a little bit more of a delay in getting things signed by the Board of Trustees through different operations, but we will work to get those updated as soon as we can.
Okay, great. That's nice. Because just to find out what's going on in the township would be nice to know.
Well, and for those who didn't hear, Chief Hoovler retired in July. Since we haven't met in May, he was with the township for 25 years. And we would have loved to have a large community gathering to acknowledge his retirement. We did sort of a limited format. We had a drive-through where people could drive through the fire station and just, at a distance, through a mask, say their goodbyes and their appreciations. Assistant.
Yeah, it's a shame we gotta have to be that way these days with the pandemic, but better to be safe than sorry.
Right. And our longtime assistant chief, who had been with the township for 18 years, has been promoted to fire chief. And we had a very small swearing-in ceremony for that as well in the fire station bay. Just one trustee, myself, the Judy crew, and immediate family. Doing what we can to keep our staff safe and limiting unnecessary contact.
Yeah, great.
And if you didn't notice,
Okay,
we did not have a pool season this year.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
We did not have a pool season. We did not open the township pool this year due to the state of emergency.
Wow.
So that was a big change.
Well, that is a big change. That's tough to deal with. Well, should we move on to new business?
Let's do it.
Okay. We have a variance application for 12862 Bevelheimer Road to decrease the side yard setback. When I looked through the variance, I really didn't see where the setback was. It showed a picture of the house and it looked like a detached garage.
Hey there. Hi. My name is Greg Kovacs. I am the owner of 12862 Bevelheim Road. Thank you to the board and the BZA for hearing my application for an approval of a variance to that setback. It's potentially an interesting scenario in that I own both lots and
Okay.
the structure is on the other lot. And so the setback that it would be infringing upon is actually a setback to my other lot. So I'm okay with it. It's
okay. You're not here to complain, huh?
right. It's just the way that the way that the land is over there. There's just a bit of a slope that goes down, and so the natural placement of the structure puts it, just within, I think, about 5 feet of that setback. I know it's not a lot, but I wanted to make sure that we did it on the up and up, right, and made sure that we had all the appropriate things in place. So it should be, I think, within about 10 feet of the actual property line, so just short of the 15 feet requirement.
Okay.
So seeking approval from the board for the go-ahead.
Well, thank you, Greg, for that update, because I was kind of confused when I looked at it. Sorry about that. Ben, is all the paperwork and everything up to date and ready to go? This
application, the plot plan, As you see, we've added that to the materials just so you can see where it's at. Everything that's required for the application has been provided.
Okay.
I did have one question for the owner, whether or not he had considered joining the properties.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually the plan. So the way it's structured now is that the bank liens on each different parcel are held by different banking institutions. And so in order to satisfy the liens first, and then merge the two properties. But yeah, that's absolutely the plan. So in the long term, this won't matter at all. But for now, it does. So I just want to make sure that we're kind of flying by the letter of the law.
Right. And even though both parcels are owned by the same property owner, under the language in our zoning resolution text, a variance would be required for this. And so we appreciate you just going through the measures.
Yep, for sure. I happen to be a member of the zoning board myself, so I know the importance of these kinds of things.
Just for
Okay,
reference,
good. Thanks, Greg.
the applicable section is 406.02, and we see that for properties over 2 acres, a setback of 15 feet is required for accessory structures. So that's the specific item he's seeking a variance from.
Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions, comments that they would like to present to Greg or me?
I'll also note that Chris Barrett is my neighbor on my other side, so he can beat me up on this too.
Okay.
I try not to claim that, but knowing the property, from just seeing it next door, the structure is going to be the furthest away from the neighbor on the adjacent side. So, they haven't had any issue, and just knowing them as well, I've communicated with them. So I don't have any questions and don't see any issues with this request.
Okay. Well, with all that said, and all the paperwork seems to be up to date and correct, do I hear a motion to approve this variance for the next meeting? Let's see, when is it? January 12th.
This is Shane. I will make a motion to approve the minutes. Seems pretty straightforward, or not the minutes, the variance.
All right. Thank you, Shane. Do I hear a second?
This is Brad. I'll second that.
All right. Thank you. Mary, you want to run the roll to do an approval?
Sure. Richard Martin,
Yes.
Shane Clapham,
Yes.
Chris Barrett,
Yes.
and Brad Martin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The variance has been approved for the next meeting.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Yep.
You can stay if you like.
I was just saying, anything else needed from me? If not, I'll drop off and tend to the kids.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
We'll see you next month.
All right.
Thank
Thanks all.
you, Greg. Okay. The next item is another variance at 8212 Bevelheimer Road. This is to increase size of accessory structure in excess of the permitted footage. Ben, any comments?
Mary, do you want to provide a review of this one?
I don't know what that static is. But... Okay, I think it's clear. Ben, you have any comments on this variance?
So, Mr. Chair, this application is for a very similar variant. And
I think if Adam Conley could go on mute, I think that would stop the background.
so this application, also on Beebleheimer Road, around towards Walnut Street near the park, is requesting a variance for an accessory structure that exceeds the maximum square footage. So this is also under 406.02. And I'll go ahead and scroll through. The application is in order. The fee has been paid. They provided an explanation of their request. You can see this is intended for personal use, including storage of personal equipment such as an RV, boat, ATV, outside furniture, pool furniture, and equipment. This is a very long parcel. It's over 1,100 feet deep, less than 200 feet wide. The structure requested is approximately 100 feet long. So that's a pretty long structure. Let's see, 36 by 100 feet, to be located to the rear of the property. And the required setback here is 25 feet because the property is over 5 acres total. Kind of a typical pole barn structure. They provided plans that they had obtained from Menards. Very rural agrarian typology with cupolas and a small porch, overhead doors on either end. No real concerns about the structure. Now, I will note that the application also requests that the setback be reduced from 25 feet. Would note that the adjacent property has an accessory structure that is 25 feet from the property line. So that would be a deviation from the adjoining property.
Okay. Has he talked to the neighbor? Do you know?
That I don't know. I believe the owner is on the call with us tonight, and he could address that.
Yeah, I'm here. I've talked to my neighbor on multiple occasions about setting up a storage building. Back where it's built is where we plan to put it is also a storage building on his side. They would basically run parallel with each other. Might even be hard, given even viewing capabilities from the road to even see them, even as you pass the home. Part of the request for the 25-foot setback is also that I've got my pool back there, and that porch area would be integrated with the pool area in order to be able to obtain the necessary storage space for the personal items, as well as create an additional space for the pool, and inside there, like a changing area and things of that nature.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody on the board? Concerns?
I don't, and again, this is a stone's throw away from me, so I'm well aware of the layout of those houses and structures. But only my only drawback would be if the neighbor has a concern, but it sounds like that's likely not the case. So I would be good with this one as well.
Yeah, that was my thought also, that it looks like it would be a pretty good addition to the township. But if that neighbor had a problem with it, it might be a problem. So anyway, and you said all the paperwork and everything's okay, man? Ready to go for application?
Ben, you're on mute.
scrolling through the materials, I don't see a plot plan, but I'll check with Mary to make sure we have that before the hearing.
Okay. Okay, well, if you do that, do I hear a motion to approve 8212 Bevel Hunter Road for approval for our next meeting, January 12th?
This is Chris. I motion to approve this.
Hi, Chris. Thank you.
Hello, this is Shane. I'll second it.
Thank you, Shane. Mary, let's go through the roll again.
Okay. Richard Martin,
Yes.
Shane Clapham,
Yes.
Chris Barrett,
Yes.
Brad Martin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's been approved.
Thank you all very much. I'll go ahead and back out also.
Okay,
Thanks, Mr. Conley. We'll see you next month.
Okay, thank you.
see you next month.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, I think that about does her. Any comments from the board? Concerns?
I'm all
good
set.
here.
So I'll motion to adjourn our meeting today.
Sounds good to me. Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye. All right, see you all next month.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ben.
Happy New Year. We'll see
See
you.
you.
You too. See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you, Mary.